Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into Endurance, Book 3 in the sci-fi epic Legends of the Galactic Heroes by Yoshiki Tanaka. This time, since we are getting further into the series, we're going to have some spoilers. So consider this your warning. If you are interested in this series, I do have reviewed the first two books spoiler free, but if you haven't read this book, I would not recommend watching this video until you have. Compared to the first two books, I would argue that Endurance is the slowest. Both Dawn and Ambition had a good amount of action, big fleet movements and bloodshed. And while this installment is hardly without those things, its biggest struggle takes place away from the battlefield surrounding Isolone Fortress. The fortress, as you might remember, protects the routes between the Galactic Empire and the Free Planet Alliance. And it's held by Admiral Yang Wen Li, who has taken it from the Empire in a genius move. The Empire under Reinhard von Lohengram's leadership naturally wants it back, which is the main point of this book as far as Empire and the Fleet War are concerned. Now, when the story first slowed down, I was honestly a bit unsure how I was going to feel about this one. This book moves away from the huge, decisive fleet clashes we saw earlier, and instead leans into more drawn-out strategy, political pressure, and a long, draining sense of uncertainty that builds when the conflict stops being loud and starts being relentless. The pacing is slower, and for me, it came close to testing my patience more than it rewarded it. But even when it dragged, I could still tell this was deliberate. Tanaka wants you to feel the grind of war and the fragile balancing act of people trying to run a democracy that's splintering while an empire keeps tightening the screws. Now, surprisingly, we see little of Reinhard in this book. With Siegfried Kierkegaard's gone, the new emperor is in a big slump. He mourns his friend and struggles to surround himself with people who he can trust unconditionally. Nobody is able to understand his dream and his ambition like Sieg did. And so Reinhard is on his own, and he's surrounded by selfish people and manipulators like Paul von Oberstein, who in some ways is responsible for Reinhard's loss. The only person who truly seems to care about the golden bread appears to be Hildegard von Mariendorf, who joined his side in the previous book. I enjoyed their scenes together, as they introduce some new warmth to a relatively cold state of affairs. Now, Yang, meanwhile, remains my anchor in the story. He's still tired, reluctant, and clearly allergic to grandstanding, but he keeps proving himself the sharpest mind in the room. And sometimes the only one who truly understands the consequences of the decisions being made. Now, their contrast is what makes the politics and the battles feel meaningful. It's not a rivalry built on shouting matches, it's a rivalry built on two very different ideas of what it means to win and what it means to survive the attempt to win. But eventually, Jan gets recalled to the capital of Heinesen to stand in front of a court of inquiry regarding his actions from the previous book. and with no real legal authority behind them. This basically comes down to psycho terror and a battle of wits, where Yang proves his defiance towards the Free Planet Alliance's government and the dangerous turns that free democracy has been taking lately. And parallel to this ordeal, Yang's aide, Frederica Greenhill, proves herself worth her weight in gold. She's a delightful character, full of strength and warmth, and I appreciated all her appearances so far. The baggage from the previous book sadly still looms here, but that just comes to show how strong Yang's aide actually is. Now, while this book is certainly slower and more reflective, giving the cast more chances to develop and grow, there is, of course, a big battle towards the end to look forward to. The battle of two gigantic space fortresses. This part was exciting, especially with both Yang and Reinhardt away from it, at least for the bulk of it. And Yang's underlings have to step up their game and hold the fort, which also gives the recently defected Merkats a chance to prove his mettle to his new comrades. And everyone, including Alex Caselnes, get to show off here for a chance, and I enjoyed it. That said, as much as I respect what this book is doing structurally and conceptually, it didn't fully land for me emotionally or narratively. Some chapters felt like they wanted to immerse you in political frustration, even so completely that the plot momentum took a backseat for a little too long. There were stretches I admired more than I enjoyed them, and a few moments I liked in hindsight more than in the actual reading experience. The ideas are strong, and the world building continues to expand with intelligence and confidence, but I never quite hit that feeling of this is my book the way it did with the other ones in the series. If anything though, this book sets up a lot of opportunities for future disaster and glory. It has plenty of substance to entertain and make you think about the characters and events. Seeds are being sown, and everybody's endurance and resolve are tested greatly, and the directions might well change in the future. Overall, I believe this book is what the series did need after the highly eventful the first two installments. Time for the dust to settle while creating new openings to be explored. It's a book with purpose and an important one, showing us that war rewards endurance over recklessness. But for me, it sometimes spent too much time proving the point instead of letting the story breathe around it. Now, of course, I'm still interested in the story, I still care, and I still want to continue because this series often builds power across books rather than inside them. And I can already tell this one is laying foundations I might appreciate even more later. It didn't blow me away, but it made me think, and that's something I don't take lightly. So that's it for my review of Endurance. If you have watched it so far, let me know what you thought of the book. I plan to read the fourth book, Stratagem, very soon. So if you're interested in my opinion of the following books in the series, make sure you keep an eye on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.